to seek and to search out by wisdom all that is done under heaven. It is an unhappy business that God has given to human beings to be busy with. I saw all the deeds that are done under the sun, and I see all its vanity in a chasing after wind. I hated all my toil in which I had toiled under the sun, seeing that I must leave it all to those who come after me, and who knows whether they will be wise or foolish. Yet they will be master of all for which I toiled and used my wisdom under the sun. This also is vanity. So I turned and gave my heart up to despair concerning all the toil of my labors under the sun, because sometimes one who has toiled with wisdom and knowledge and skill must leave all to be enjoyed by another who did not toil for it. This also is vanity and a great evil. What do mortals get from all the toil and strain with which they toil under the sun? For all their days are full of pain, and their work is a vexation. Even at night their minds do not rest. This also is vanity.
Our New Testament reading today comes from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 12. And this is verses 13 through 21. Someone in the crowd said to him, "Teacher, tell my brother to divide the family inheritance with me." But he said to him, "Friend, who sent me to be a judge or arbitrator over you?" And he said to them, "Take care. Be on your guard against all kinds of greed, for one's life does not consist in the abundance of possessions." Then he told them a parable. The land of a rich man produced abundantly, and he thought to himself, "What should I do, for I have no place to store my crops?" Then he said, "I'll do this. I will pull down my barns and build larger ones, and there I will store all my grain and my goods. And I will say to my soul, 'Soul, you have ample goods laid up for many years. Relax, eat, drink, be merry.' But God said to him, 'You fool, this very night your life is being demanded of you. And the things you have prepared, whose will they be?' So it is with those who store up treasures for themselves, but are not rich toward God." Well, Lois just read us a scripture that pretty much summed up what was said in here by God to this man, and in the parable also that Jesus told. The person who wrote the passage that Lois just read was a man named Kohelet. And Kohelet meant teacher. He was a great wise teacher who wrote the book of Ecclesiastes, but really his true identity was King Solomon. And King Solomon wrote this under the pen name of Kohelet, not wanting anybody to know who he really was, but he kind of slipped it in there. "When I was king over Israel, I amassed all of this wealth and all of this wisdom, and I did all of these things and worked so hard, but oh, vanity of vanities, I realized that one day I should die, and those who did not work for what I had built up would inherit it." And he said, "Why would you even bother to trouble yourself so much going through life, building things up for other people who don't appreciate them?" So I'm thinking that Kohelet probably, or King Solomon, if he were alive today, would probably not appreciate the ideal of the American dream. I'm just guessing. The nice cars, the nice house, the big, huge bank account so that we can have everything that we want in the world and never have to do anything, to just relax and spend our time idly. Now, before I get going, I remember one time I was preaching about money, and I was talking about brand name items. I'm throwing out all these, Gucci and Ralph Lauren and all this stuff, and somebody came up to me afterward and said, I was kind of offended, as she points at her little horse, the Ralph Lauren symbol, and I'm like, Did you not notice I'm also got the little pony here? I said, I'm not saying that it's bad to have good stuff. It's wonderful to have good stuff, and it's great to earn it. But we don't have to become so overly attached to it that it becomes our idol or our God. And so Jesus encounters this man in Luke 12, and it's not that he tells the man that there's anything wrong with being fiscally responsible, because of course it's okay. Save. Be smart. Do what you're supposed to with the money that you've been blessed with. Put it away. Provide for your family. And leave something so that your children will have something. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's not at all what he says here. But as Jesus is walking along, he gets this man who comes up to him and he says, Lord, tell my brother that he has to share my share of probably his father's inheritance with me. And Jesus, he probably just come from a healing, let's see here, a warning against hypocrisy, and before that he healed a blind man, casted out some demons, so he's on his way, and this guy comes to him and he says, are you kidding me? Is that who you think I am? Am I a judge? Am I an arbiter? Is that my purpose to walk this earth to decide these little discrepancies between you so that you can decide who's to get what and divvy it out nice and easy and even? That's not my job. That is not my job. Let me tell you a little story so that you might get a little better understanding of it. And he tells the man that God goes to a man who had gotten so much bounty, so much plentiful abundance from his harvest that he says, what in the heck am I going to do with all of this? I'm one person and I've got so much stuff, I don't even know how I could possibly use it all up. Oh, I know. I'm going to tear down my barns and I'm going to build bigger ones so I can store all my stuff. And then I will tell my soul, relax. You've done a good job. I'm going to pat myself on the back and just sit back and chill for the next 7 years or whatever it takes to use up all of this produce. But you see, I don't think the problem was just the fact that he amassed all of this. I think, first of all, he had a problem, and especially God in this parable, when he told the man, oh, good, you got all your stuff. Oh, by the way, tonight you're going to